a time, long ago, there was a king, and the king had a lovely princess born to him. The king waited for the princess to grow up to get her married. And when she turned a marriageable age, the king went to his daughter and said that, I wish to find a husband for you. And the princess said, Father, don't you worry. That's something that I will take care of. I'll find a husband for myself. The only thing that I want you to do is build me a 7-storied building. And the king said, a 7-storied building? Just by sitting in it, will you find a husband for yourself? She said, don't you worry, leave that to me. You do as I say, just build me a 7-storied building. So the king built her a 7-storied building, and that building had 4 gates to it. The princess, on the first gate, she put a necklace. On the second gate, she made a cobra sit there. On the third gate, there was a bear, and outside the 4th gate, there was a tiger. And a proclamation was sent out in the kingdom, which said that anybody who could make the princess speak 3 times would be the chosen one for marriage with the princess. The princess decided to sit quietly in that building from that day on. And once the proclamation went out, many people from across the kingdom and even from other kingdoms came to meet the princess to get her to speak 3 times. But most of them could not get past the first gate, get past the necklace. Some of them who got past the necklace couldn't get past the cobra, the others couldn't get past the bear, and none of them could get past the tiger. The princess was locked inside, sitting quietly without speaking. And one day, when she was standing by her window, she saw that there were 2 men walking on the streets of the kingdom. And she thought that these 2 men were really handsome, very hot, and she wouldn't mind marrying one of them. So, through her friends, she sent a note out to these 2 men. And the note read, I'm looking for someone to marry me, and I'm actually tired of waiting. Anyone who can make me speak thrice can marry me. Why don't you both come and give it a shot? The friends, they took this note and went to these 2 men. When these men, they read this note, they laughed with each other. But then they stopped when they saw that these friends of the princess, they were also laughing. They stopped and asked, why are you laughing? They said, no, we can't tell you. But the men said, well, look, we are strangers here in this kingdom. Please tell us. So then the prince's friends told these 2 men, look, we know the secret about this building, this 7-storied building where the princess is locked up. We will share the secret with you, but promise that you won't tell it to anyone else, otherwise the king will chop our heads off. And they went on to share the secret with the men. They said the first gate has a necklace on the gate. That necklace dazzles in sunlight. It will hypnotize you. Do not look at the necklace when you reach gate number 1. Outside gate number 2 is a cobra. Just offer an egg to the cobra and the cobra will let you in. Outside gate number 3 is a bear. Just give some honey to the bear and the bear will let you in. Outside gate number 4 is a tiger. Just give a piece of meat to the tiger and the tiger will let you in. And all these things, you can find it just around here in the market. So these 2 friends, they went and they bought these things. When they reached the first gate, one of the friends, he couldn't help himself but stared at the necklace. And immediately he was hypnotized. He couldn't go past gate 1. But the second one, the more clever one, he did as the friends had asked them to do. He did not look at the necklace. He offered the cobra an egg. He offered the bear some honey. He offered a piece of meat to the tiger. And he entered the seven-storied building where the princess was sitting right there in front of him. He knew that he was there to make her speak thrice. So without wasting any time, he started to tell her a story. And this is how the story goes. He said, once upon a time, there was a king who had a princess. The king found one handsome man to get his daughter married to, and he fixed the marriage for his daughter. The marriage was fixed to happen on Monday. The princess also had an elder brother. The elder brother promised his friend to marry his sister off to him, and he also agreed to have the marriage on Monday. So on Monday, when the princess was sitting in her bridal attire, the two party of bridegrooms arrived at the palace. Looking at this confusion happening, two sets of bridegrooms at the same time, the princess was so embarrassed that she went and jumped into a well. And when she jumped into a well, it affected one of the bridegrooms so much that he jumped after her. And the second bridegroom was so affected that he ran away from there and took off for a pilgrimage. So now this man asked the princess, but I'm a little confused. Who do you think loved the princess more? The one who jumped into the well or one who ran away? The princess, without wasting any time, she opened her mouth and she said, of course, the one who jumped after her. And the man said, I also thought the same. And then he went on to tell the second story. He said once there were three friends, rich friends. They went to the pier to catch a boat to leave from the town, but the boat had already left. So they decided to spend the rest of the night at the pier. They had a lot of money with them, and the three friends decided to take turns to guard themselves and their belongings. So they decided that each one of them would sleep only for 4 hours. In the night, when two were asleep and one was awake, to while away his time, he found a piece of wood. He was a carpenter, so he made a beautiful lady out of that wood. After 4 hours, he went to sleep. The second 4 hours, the second friend woke up. He looked at this beautifully carved piece of wood. He was a painter, so he painted this wood beautifully. And then he went to sleep. The third friend woke up, a goldsmith. He looked at this beautifully painted carved wood and he put ornaments onto this carved wood, and this doll came to life. Now this man's question to the princess was, who do you think the doll should marry? The one who carved her, the one who painted her, or the one who infused life into her? She said, you must be dumb to even have this question. Of course, the goldsmith who infused life into her. And the man said, I see, all right, I agree with you. And he went on with his third story. His third story was about this girl who studied in a village, a school-going girl. This school-going girl was reprimanded by her teacher for no reason almost every day. So one day she got tired of those beatings and she asked her teacher, why do you beat me? What wrong have I done? And the teacher said, well, if you want me to stop beating you, you have to promise me something. Promise me that when you get married, the first night before spending it on your husband's bed, you will come and see me. Maybe the girl was too young to understand all of this, But to get rid of those beatings, she said yes to it. And then she grew up. She grew up and got married. It was her first night with her husband, but she had not forgotten her promise. She told her husband, "Wait, before we do anything, I have a word to keep. I had made a promise long ago." So the husband said, "All right, if you have given someone a word, you have to keep it. Go for it. Go live up your promise." So she started walking from her husband's house towards her teacher's house in the middle of the night. And as she was walking and walking and walking, on the way, she met a group of thieves. The thieves stopped her and asked her to give all her jewelry to them. And she said, "You know what? I have a promise to keep. And I'll come back the same way. Trust me, on my way back, whatever you want, I will give it to you. But please let me go now." The thieves trusted her and let her go. And she started walking once again. She walked and walked and walked towards her teacher's house. On the way, she saw a tiger. The tiger growled and said, "I'm hungry and I want to eat you up." She said, "Tiger dear, just hang on. I have a promise to keep. Trust me. On my way back, I'll take the same way and I'll give you whatever you want. But please let me go now." And she started walking once again. She walked and walked and walked and walked and walked and finally reached her teacher's house. She knocked at the door. Her teacher opened the door. He was surprised to see her old student, dressed in bridal attire, full of jewelry and gold ornaments, but at the same time looking very tired. He got her inside and asked her what she was doing there. She reminded him of the promise that she had to keep. The teacher just smiled and said, "Oh, my girl, I think I was just teasing her. I didn't mean that at all." He gave her food and water and asked her to stay back that night because it was too late in the night for her to go back. But the girl said, "There are a few people waiting for me. I have to go." So she left from there. On the way, she met the tiger and she said, "I'm here. You can eat me now." But the tiger said, "After you left, there was a buffalo that came here, and I have food for many days now. You may leave." She left from there. She met the robbers and she said, "Look, I promised and I'm here. You can take whatever you want." And the robbers said, "No, no, nothing. Because after you left, there was a cart that was passing by from here full of gold and silver coins. We have that now. We are dividing it amongst ourselves. You may leave." So she hurriedly went back to her husband's house. And after telling the story, the man asked the princess, "Now tell me, who do you think has a bigger heart? Is it the husband who allowed his wife to go and meet some other man on their first night? Is it the robbers who trusted her? Is it the tiger who trusted her in spite of being hungry? Or is it the teacher who did not take any advantage of her?" And the princess, even before this man could finish his question, said, "Of course, it's the husband who trusted his wife so much. It has to be him." And the man said, "Of course, I was also thinking of the same." And in no time, the princess realized that she had already spoken thrice. So she called out to her father and said, "Appa, I think I finally found my husband. Please prepare for our marriage." She didn't regret it. She was happy that it was that man that she will marry. And in no time, the king decorated the entire kingdom and got them married with a lot of pomp. And that's my story for today.